Here goes nothing.
There it goes.
All right, everybody, welcome to Clay City, Kentucky. This is the first round of Kentucky cross-country racing, and I've decided to race my Triumph Scrambler, 500-pound 2013 street bike that I've outfitted for adventure riding. I've done quite a bit of modification to the bike in preparation for this particular race. Unfortunately, I wish I had done more preparation for my body. It had rained for the entire, almost the entire last week leading up to this race, and it's quite snotty out here. So we're going to do something different as I do this kind of like Zach Attack does his channel. We're going to narrate the race, and please prepare yourself for probably the slowest hair scramble in history, but hope you guys enjoy this.
Round 5. 10.
Naturally, the clutch switch on the clutch levers ate up on the bike, so I missed the start on here. Yeah, I'm trying to get up on the tank because to come around that first curve, I've never been able to ride the bike like that. I've actually not had the Scrambler off-road since like September 2020-ish, so it's really wild to be out here in this really snotty infield. This is actually a cow pasture most days of the week, so we've got this start section that's going through just peanut butter. Mad props to my buddy Conrad here. He actually rode two up to and from this race, so the two of us are basically breaking the seal on the adventure class here in KXCR. So I tried to make it through that mud to see if I could get a good line. I did not see this ledge, so that kind of freaks me out some as I'm trying to ride that rut on the far left-hand side up the hill there. That thing is snotty from the young kids going up that hill through the first run. So I'm trying to make up some time here in the infield, but I'm a little worried about getting cross-roaded through here. I see a new amateur riding out through here, and fortunately made it through that. Coming around the corner to the creek, and I've been across this a lot, and I didn't realize how heavy that bike was going to be when I went over that steep ledge. And then the same thing, we've crossed this creek a lot, but we're kind of off camber here, so I really like guide it to the right there, trying to stay on it, and did not realize how snotty it was going to be. This hill's the same. This is actually the same hill that we did in round 1 last year. I actually got stuck on this on my 2-stroke, so I'm in second gear, and I'm trying to give it the beans here. Naturally, I was a bit greedy, thinking I could do that in second. Kick it down here, give it another go. Yeah, the tractor just claws through the clay rut through there, and there's some shale and all kinds of junk. And at this point, I realize it's getting real squirrely on the hillside here. I've been up and down this hill a bunch of times, and I had no idea the top of this would be just that soft after the rain this week. So I'm doing everything I can trying to get that rear end to clear out, but then track straight. Yeah, so I'm scrambling hard right here. Yeah, the back end's just going every which way. There, Conrad makes the pass. Got one of the young beginners coming by. Decide I need to give it a break for a second. All right, give my calves and my hands a break from slipping that clutch so much. We'll try to get out of this thing. Yeah, I'm not picking the lines I want. The weight of the bike is definitely steering me through the hill a lot more than getting where I want to be. All right, we get a little traction here. Stand up. Decide to thread it through the trees there. I'm basically looking for any piece of dry dirt I can find. Now we're over the hill. I know we've got a good straight section here, and again, I'm worried about these beginner racers because we're racing 500-pound bikes with a lot of guys that have never raced before, so I'm trying to pick a good pass and not scare the new guys. All right, here we go. We're going to give it the beans. This section on the ridge line is it's got a lot of sand in it. It's a great dry spot. Unfortunately, there's a lot of roots and braking bumps and whatnot, so I really want to just open it up. And then there's this off-camber left-hander here. I'm trying to ride this rut. Didn't have quite the momentum I wanted there, but I'm still trying to get used to being on this fat bike after riding my dirt bike for pretty much for a year and a half. Great opportunity to open it up here. We bounce over some roots there. I kind of start to lose it, jump back up there. we turn off this ridgeline a lot, so I'm trying to look up and figure out where the next turn is going to be. Yep, this looks familiar. Unfortunately for Conrad, I obviously race here a lot. I mean, round 9 and 10 last season were here. I've been here all spring, so I know my way around. So I've been up and down this hill. We got stuck on it real good in round 10, so if you watch the rain video, you should. So I'm creeping down this because we haven't done any downhills yet, and that's one of the scariest things for me. You wash out the front on one of these 500-pound bikes, and you're going to be wearing it or stuck underneath it. You can hear the rear suspension back there, the swing arm, and all the chatter. I spot Conrad, and I'm like, ooh, maybe we can get around, but he gets through that rut real good. I've watched a lot of people get crossed up in those ruts back there, so I was definitely trying to go wide there. This is really where it starts to get good because we get a chance to start chasing one another here. And I mean, that's exciting because obviously this is not fast. This is nothing like watching dirt bikes race. But it is interesting to sit here and play chess trying to chase another 500-pound bike that outclasses my Scrambler by a lot. I don't know what the suspension travel is on the Africa Twin, but I definitely know that bike handles bumps a lot better than my street bike does. I foolishly followed him around that tree, and then we got into this rut. I've looked around multiple times now and went, wow, there were some really good lines through that, but it's tough to get the front and rear wheel to track out of ruts like this when these heavy bikes. Oh, Conrad, he goes down here, and I just squeak out of there to make the pass, and then that other kid hit the clay here, so that kind of freaks me out off this ledge. That works out, and we're on the moto track now, so we're about to see what happens here. A lot of clay base in the moto track. I think this would be really fun, really fast, even on the big bike on a dry day. But with as snotty as it is out there, I'm looking way ahead, especially because I know it's going to be rutted up because they raced on Saturday. So I'm really worried about getting cross-rutted with the big bike because just having it topple on top of me is one of my biggest fears, especially at speed. This is a fun tabletop, but I know that I'm just getting started. I'm already tired, so I kind of take it easy over this first one. Definitely going to skip out on this double. We're going to roll this sharp one there, and that's really the only sharp one on the track that we do. This off-camber uphill is tough, even on the dirt bike, and I went wide and then spotted this, side trail here, so we kind of divert over some of the whoops. Still looking down the track, looking for ruts, trying to figure out where we're gonna slide the front tire. I did not want to get in this really deep rut, but we landed in there, so I had to kind of steer through it. Yeah, looking for the exit, and we turn off of the moto track, and I'm like, sweet, get a chance to get out here in the field and open it up, and before I know it, I realize the back tire's just spinning, so I'm just trying to work through the clutch and find the right gear to get through the peanut butter here. This other guy pulls up in front. I'm not sure what he's up to there. I get a little momentum, trying to get the tires cleared out. No sooner that happens, I realize we're doing another creek crossing here. It's tough to see in the light. I can see a really nasty rut and a shelf toward the middle, so I try to stay left to go around it. We kind of pop in it just at the last second there, but the back tire goes over it. And then we're just steering through the slop here. These ruts aren't too bad. One of my biggest fears is getting the foot pegs stuck because I've only got like 7 inches of ground clearance. My pegs are only about 8 inches off the ground. We're still making some momentum. I haven't seen Conrad again. Yeah, these fans cheering is absolutely stellar. And then I'm trying to get momentum, and woof, front end starts to wash out, and I almost bit it there. And same thing. This cow pasture, just this top layer of grass is just floating on top of this awful clay, and I cannot get momentum to get the tires cleared out. And that rear tire gets loaded up, and it just gets worse. So I'm going wide here, hoping I can find a place that's not all rutted up. I just jump down in that puddle. That's the best thing I can do right there. Come around the corner, and I realize there's 2 or 3 guys that are stuck on this uphill. Like I said, we're racing with some beginners, definitely novices that don't do a lot of racing. So I take an eyeball at it and see, are they in my way? Am I ready to hit this? I catch my breath, see if those guys are going to get out of the way, and then get back in it here. Trying to get some momentum early because you can see how sloppy it is. I mean, it's just bad. Back end just keeps stepping out no matter which way I steer it. I try to straighten it out, and it looks a little drier just beyond those trees, so I'm about to give it the beans and see if we can get some momentum. So we're scrambling. So I'm trying to find some dry dirt up here in the leaves and see if we can get it. I mean, you can hear that tire coming over some of the roots of those trees. It's still climbing, but that back end is just slipping. There goes Conrad. Conrad took a spill right behind me, so I started up and see if I can get some momentum and get away from him, and that back end just keeps giving out. And the only way I can save it actually is kind of back it in, and then I fall into this rut.
You ready, buddy?
Yeah, this kid's getting his butt kicked trying to kick that thing.
Hey, Conrad, what's up? Hey, it's a little slippery.
It's just hilarious. Like I said, the slowest hair scramble in history. Two of us stuck on the same hill.
There you go. Good job. You were so close. All right, heads up.
Now we're in the rut. We're just going to give it the beans. Back end starts sliding downhill. I just got on the back of that seat and gave it the beans. It's still walking all over the place. I'm trying to hit that trail to the left. It's a lost cause. My hip flexors are exhausted because I'm trying to reach to the ground and not drop the bike. And that's actually my biggest focus the whole time I'm doing this. Like, I'm stopping and I'm taking a break because I'm worried that if I drop the bike and have to pick it back up, I'm going to be more tired from picking the bike up and getting resettled than I am to just take a break. So it's the same thing. I've fought up that hill. I stop and I take a break for a second, catch my breath, give my legs, calves a rest, and then get ready to get back in it. So lots of good dry dirt on the downhill here. I'm still trying to get used to see how the suspension goes. I actually put new shock springs on right before this race. I've been losing weight over the winter and it was already really oversprung. I was happy the way it went over some speed bumps and whatnot at home, but again, going down that hill, trying to get speed. The front brake is doing great. I'm not worried about the tire locking too much. I come out of the creek and I look around and I realize there's more guys that are struggling on this hill.
Hey buddy, you gotta fix that.
Yeah, we've had quite a few issues with people breaking tape at races in the back, and I'm really worried about these novices getting screwed up by the tape being torn down. So this kid does the right thing and he ties it up while I head up the hill. I see that line to the left and I'm like, if I don't get stuck in this rut, I can make it. And I am shocked. It went right through there. And this is nice, fluffy stuff. We'll get some good momentum through there. Trying to keep some momentum on this hill, but I'm really worried about that front end coming undone. Boom. Slips, but we managed to get in the rut, so that's good. Well, we're making some progress now. Feeling a little bit more comfortable with the way the bike's handling. And then back to another one of the world's slowest downhills. I got a 19-inch front, so like I said, I'm worried about the front sliding out. You know, the suspension on this thing, I got like 6 inches of travel in the front, you know, but it's still dancing around a little bit. I'm tired, and you know, the bike's doing a little bit of, you know, steering me around. So this is a new section. They just put that, had that creek jump in there, and they put in this new bridge. This is pretty slick. You know, a lot of roots and a crappy rut there. The video doesn't do it justice. So here we go, little drier, get a chance to get some momentum and burn up the hill here. Some black dirt. Just So this is fun. I mean, this is fast stuff that is good on the dirt bike, and the Scrambler is very much at home here. I wouldn't worry about this downhill too much until I see some really gnarly braking bumps through there. Front and back didn't dance around too much. Now, this is always a mud hole, and I'm freaked out about this uphill. I can see right now there's polished sections where some of these novice guys have just held the throttle open and tried to push the bike. But she crawls up it. We try to make a shift to second there, and then knock it into neutral like an idiot. But we made it.
Hey, it sucks when you hit neutral. Are we tired yet?
Yeah, some more, good dry dirt. Coming back to another creek crossing, and then another uphill. There was another creek jump to the right there. No way I'm attempting that on this 500-pound pig. So I want to catch some good momentum here. I know this is rutted up really bad, and I know it's like a weird left-hander, but I know if we can stay in the rut and stay on the throttle, we'll get there. Oof. Really slipping it. More of that polished clay from all these new racers just holding it open. I mean, you can see the tires. Just marked it. And we're stuck. We barely got over the first root right there. Yep, just wearing it. Back up a little bit. Get way back on that seat. Bump it. She made it. You still hear that rear tire working. Missed the line, but we're good. Now it's a little off camber, and my hands are just noodles. I'm trying to pick my way through this. Trying to pinch the tank, which is kind of tough. With the high pipes on the right, you really can't pinch the tank. So I'm trying to use my legs and stop using my hands so much because I'm really worried about overweighting it. I started to want to go left there, and I couldn't get the bike to do what I wanted. Should I say, I was too lazy to make the bike do the work. This is a fun section. I don't have what it takes to ride this bike like a dirt bike through that nice, rutted up berm, but I know how dry this is and how good this uphill is. Whole bike actually left the ground right there. That felt amazing. Yeah, if the whole track was like this, this would be remotely exciting video. I know this rolls off because this starts to come back into the start again, so we're approaching the start line, and I'm looking, trying to figure out, I'm not sure how they've changed the serpentine. I mean, we started just on the left side of that tape, obviously, so I'm not sure how the serpentine is going to play out, and I'm, again, searching across the cow pasture, trying to find, what's dry, because I've been through it once, and I know that the bike's going to slide all over the place. And I basically just end up sticking with the same line from the start line. And it's actually not bad on that far right side. So we get through some of this, no big deal. And I do the same thing. Cut to the left, get through some of this mud here. This doesn't look too bad. And I'm trying to pivot around that corner, and I'm like, is there any way to get a straight run at the hill? And I just don't see one. So we make that same drop off that ledge there and try to stay on it. That back end really starts to come around. I was shocked that I didn't break the tape there. So still wrestling the pig through the peanut butter. Yeah, I'm tired. I can see how much I've just slowed down through this section, and I'm eyeballing this because I'm really worried about how bad those ruts are and getting cross-rutted through there. I'm trying not to drop down that ledge the way I did the first time and get a better shot at this. And I am really not successful. And my eye is watching that rut instead of steering straight up it, and it totally goofs me up.
Just in time for the camera.
Yeah, my buddy Bill gets a shot of me just totally stuck on the side of this hill. I mean, it's amazing just the way that clay clumps together and that layer just sheets off. The back end just keeps steering back downhill. Alright, so we get up here. And I didn't realize that they actually have the Enduro Section. They got that big steel pipe.
It's not. It won't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, big props to my man Conrad. Excuse me, Conrad.
The ground clearance, y'all.
Conrad actually made a run on that pipe. If there was a good kicker, the Scrambler had a shot at making it. But, I mean, I'm wasted at this point. I mean, I'm steering through these rocks like completely terrible. I think I even hit that last one. But, yeah, arms are wasted. But we're about to put the first lap on the board, which is good. I just wanted to finish. That was the biggest thing. Like, let's try to get one lap on the board rather than DNF.
Warthog parking.
So they offered a pro hill line straight ahead, which I was like, there's no way the bike can handle that, because I saw guys getting air off the first lip. And somebody said the right hand's not too bad, but I knew the left. Obviously had been up the left a lot in all the other races, and since it made it no big deal before, I'm like, that's fine. We'll just ride the rut and we'll go around. After getting greedy with second gear, I'm thinking it over in first this time around. We're just gonna put a bunch of energy in the flywheel and get ready to go around it. Go. Yeah, for folks that are not used to adventure bikes, that's the thing, is I don't really want to be in the rut, but because the bikes are so heavy and they pretty much drag you in all the time anyway, you just ride them. And I'm still getting used to us making a right turn at the top of that hill. Usually it's a straight shot, relatively dry. So, in the end here, this is the second lap. We're coming through this section. I'm tired. And the sun is drying out the dirt a little bit, but I'm amazed. Out of all the stuff during this race that I get into, this section right here
take a break.
is probably the worst of the whole section.
Calves are burning. What's that? It's mostly this spot, and then the hills on the far side of the hard ones.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, this piece of it, easily the worst part of the whole race. Just let these novice guys get around me and take another stab at it. And it is worse than the first time. Like, I've completely lost traction. And there's no doubt about it. People tell you, like, I'm not keeping up enough momentum. The tires aren't clearing out. Yeah, I was attempting to go back through those trees again like I did the first time. I can't get the bike to go anywhere. It literally just wants to lay right down. So I'm pushing and pushing and pushing with my feet, trying to get this thing going, trying to keep it vertical. I was going to go left there again, and it's just steering into these trees. Starting to worry a little bit about the oil cooler, whether or not it's getting loaded up, whether or not the bike's going to overheat or whatnot. Yeah, we finally cut over that one little route there. And I've got to take another break after wrestling it. We found the motivation. It's a straight shot. Stay on that dry dirt and we get there. We are kicking and pushing. Again, I'm in shock. I mean, this dirt looks dry, and there's a bunch of, leaves and dust and whatnot. Normally, this hill's no big deal, but the Scrambler is just digging a hole on top of this wet clay from the week's rain. Stuck. All right, let's get after this. And I know there's dry stuff up here. We'll get a chance to get the tires cleared out. These dirt bikes make it look so easy. She's moving. Oh, man. Still no. Trying to slide back into a line where we can get more traction. I see this thing off to the right here, and I'm like, maybe we can get over there. Oh, God. I mean, it's downright embarrassing. 'Cause the hill's not that steep. The pig's really struggling in that clay. Getting there. Hear it on that route. I mean, I can see the top of the hill right here. Like, it's that close. We just got to push it a little bit. All right, and I'm wasted for going like 10 feet. let this kid go by and get back after it. We should be able to clear out these tires with this nice dry section up on the ridge. And it's amazing. It slides out just on that first section. I'm wasted, but I know I can get a little speed through here. I know where the turn's going to be, so we're going to try to get a little more speed, catch up some time here. I'm always worried about cresting this hill because, like I said, there's a couple braking bumps and some stuff on the far side. Oh, that engine sounds so good. I love squeezing the throttle on this thing. Same thing, off camber left. Did not get in that rut the way I wanted to. Lost some speed there. A few more bumps from the roots and whatnot. And the first time I got a little upset, or got the chassis upset up this hill, so I'm trying to pick a line a little bit better here. Yeah, definitely better. You can hear that rear end bumping up and down a little bit on some of the roots and stuff. Yeah, definitely a better run on the second half there. Same story, headed back down the hill. Obviously it's rutted up pretty good. So trying to pick a line and steer with my feet as much as I can, trying to give my arms a break because I'm wrestling this thing, pushing those bars left and right, trying to keep the bike upright. I wanted to take that left line to avoid those braking bumps, but I don't think I thought about it in time. I'm definitely watching the ground a lot closer in front of me than I really need to. I need to be looking up the trail a little bit further. I like that left line instead of worried about those ruts again, so this worked out. I was a little worried about that right end. Yeah, exactly that. That rear end starting to slide out just a little bit, but we caught up just in time to keep from getting stuck on the side of the mountain there. Yeah, this time almost missed it when you get left of the tree there. It's a little smoother here, fewer ruts. Chance to pick up a little speed in this flat section here. Yeah, had it been a little bit drier, these sections would have been fast and all kinds of fun. It's weird going with in between the trees on a bike this big. I'm amazed it made it. I was really worried about touching one of those with the bars. Same story here, like a fool, came around that corner and it jumped down in this rut. And I'm tired and I'm really worried about this front getting stuck. I'm trying to figure out, do I hold the clutch in? Am I going to use engine braking? Because I'm really worried about the bike going downhill and getting away from me. I saw that kid there stuck earlier, and then I saw this clay, and it's all polished from everybody locking up the brakes with that braking bump. Yeah, I slid down that hill straight to make sure that I didn't dump it. Now I got to kind of like back it up to get back up on the motocross track. But yeah, it's covered in all kinds of slimy snot from everybody coming down that hill. So now that I know where the jumps are that we're going to have to hit on the motocross track, I'm trying to get it with a little more speed. And like I said, the sun's been on it, another 20, 30 minutes now. So some of the stuff's starting to tack up. I remember that rut that I didn't want to get stuck in. So I'm looking for a different line here. That wasn't much better. Let's see how this tabletop goes. I'm feeling confident here. I want to hit this a little faster this time. Just a little bit of air there, not much, nothing to brag about. Same story. Not going to hit this double by any stretch of imagination. Roll that real nice. Figure out if we got enough momentum to come around this corner and not slide out. End up taking that cheater line again. Just kind of hope somebody'd be up there taking pictures, and that's not the way that turned out. Yeah, that rut I was talking about a second ago, this is me looking for it, trying not to get stuck in it this time around. This looks awful, but it's better than running through that again. A little bit of bump through there, jump back out in the pasture here. I was trying to see if I get out in the grass, if that would help at all. Marginally better. I mean, I'm getting on the throttle and I can feel it still slipping, popped up another gear. There's some roots in the shade there that really sucked. Yeah, it's still getting crossed up as the front and the rear start to slide out of line through all that. Just bouncing back and forth, trying to find something that's firm. I look down in the creek and there's two guys stuck on the far side of the hill, but I think I can stay up and left and get around them. We just drop right in there. Rear tire gets stuck on his front tire, and then we're jacked up. I thought if he, yeah, I thought if he moved his front tire, I could get out of there. There you go. Let's see if we can make it. Naturally stall it like an idiot. Nothing. And what I don't realize is I'm on top of just sandstone. There's just polished stone right underneath the bike. Not gonna make it. In a huge mess. We got to get the bikes moved out of the way. These kids are struggling to move their own bikes. I end up accidentally knocking over one of them in the creek. I'm backing up, and I thought he had moved out of the way. So we got to kick it and get it started, and it's a huge mess. I mean, it's classic, novice racer mistakes and whatnot, and we dug that rut all the way down to the stone. We get everybody moved out of the way, and I'm back up and made multiple runs at it. Finally get settled, and I hit it hard enough to get that rear tire to bounce over that little lip and finally make it out of there. It's tough because I wanted to get off the bike and help those kids, but I mean, there was just nowhere for me to actually park the Scrambler where it wasn't going to be like laying in the mud, and an even bigger obstacle because it's obviously, the second biggest bike on the course. Yeah, let that kid go by, and I'm a little wasted after fighting the pig up that hill a couple times. I got myself collected here, and hoping I can get through this sloppy section. It's really weird how some of these water breaks and whatnot really just make a mess of it in a spot like this. Well, we didn't slide out as bad, kept a little momentum, made it up the hill that time around. I'm looking to see where the ruts are, where the water comes across there again, because that section was starting to get deep. Yeah, I mean, this is my first time racing a big bike, but I mean, I've told people a lot, like, dirt bikes are checkers, adventure bikes are chess. I mean, it's a 500-pound bike. I can get really hurt. Like, the consequences for making mistakes on these big bikes are huge because it's not the same as a dirt bike will fall away. I mean, you can get hurt on a dirt bike, obviously, but being crushed by this 500-pound bike and being dragged back down the hill or it falling on my leg and breaking things, I mean, that's an issue that I want to avoid if I can. Yeah, that was not really the line I had in mind, but it worked. I was going to see if I can get through the fluffy peanut butter here and get a line through the woods there that's dry, and it's the same story. That rear end's just sliding out. I hate wheel spin, and I'm amazed. As long as I've got a little momentum, it's still climbing for the most part. Worried about getting stuck on that root. We made it through there. Let's see how riding this rut does. I got that front tire way too close to that tree, and that's exactly it. I was worried about that front end stepping out and getting stuck wrapped around that tree sideways. I tried to roll back and get a better position, but I'm not happy with it, so I'm going to try it anyway. I'm going to see if I can just tilt away from it a little bit and give it enough beans and see if it'll make it. And I'm shocked it made it there and starts climbing the hill, so I just ride it. Yeah, that back end is doing most of the steering. Almost lost it there. Having to back into that exact same rut we did on the first lap. And wasted again. it is amazing how much work it is to ride that fat bike like that. It's amazing how easy a lot of this stuff is on a dirt bike with a little bit of momentum. And that rear end just wants to keep pointing back downhill. Managed to get it stuck on another route. But she's climbing out. And it's the same thing that happened the last time. I started to get steered uphill the wrong way a little bit. Have to slide back down and wiggle that front wheel to try to get it pointed back downhill in the right direction. It was easier that time, get it back on the track. Well, I spoke too soon. Yeah, no matter how dry it looks, I just cannot get that back wheel to behave itself, so I end up steering downhill and backing up and going through there again. So finally get it straightened out after 3 or 4 kids go by, and getting a little frustrated at this point, but ready to move down the hill. And it still amazes me, like I said, how dry it actually looks out there. But yep, trying to carry some speed down the hill this time around because I'm frustrated about being stuck on the top of that hill, and I'm unsuspectingly coming down these braking bumps and almost eat it. It's not evident on the video, but there's a section where that front end takes a bump and I almost lost control of the bars. Yep. Trying to keep up some momentum and not get stuck in all this business.
It's like chess. That's like checkers. If you lose a line on that bike, you just jump the next guy.
I don't know how you handle it.
Stupidity mostly. All right. We got to go right to go left.
See if this grass has any better traction than the last go round. So we got a little momentum. And I want to try to hit that same line the second time, and again amazed that it stayed in there. We started to lose it a little bit. And it starts crawling up the hill the wrong way, but I just ride it straight up. I take a long break at the top of the hill here. Just really, you know, the clay's taking a toll on me. So watch out for traffic and let these other guys go. And then try to get up this hill that I knew I slid into the berm on the uphill the last time. Not after it with quite as much gusto. It was a little cleaner than before. It's so weird being out here with the novice kids and whatnot, so it's kind of fun chasing them, but I can't reiterate, like, I'm really worried that if I slip, I'm going too fast, that I could slide into one of those guys. Fortunately, most of them are better on the track than I am with this big pig. So back around the bridge again. Trying to steer with my feet. It actually freaked me out a little bit as I was looking around the corner and realized how close to the edge I was coming across that bridge. So let's get some momentum, get up this hill, get these tires cleaned out, try to make up some time. I haven't seen Conrad in a while, but I'm so tired at this point that I'm not super worried about being passed. Back down that hill with that choppy section here. I'm trying to pay attention and trying not to put too much weight on the front end. I'm getting tired and lazy. So back up this long hill again after all the dirt. So I stop to look and see what's going on up there.
You gonna do it?
Yeah. Stay in the rut.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But you gotta have enough speed to clear the smooth stuff. You get stuck on this.
Somebody made a line right here. I ain't tried it.
It's all right, but the logs, the roots beyond it are real slippery.
Yeah. I'm gonna catch up now.
So I catch my breath, let a couple dirt bikes go, make sure the hill's clear, and get ready to get after it. Because there are some gnarly, polished sections on this hill that I do not want to slide backwards down. So just load up that flywheel, and I'm just trying to hang on and not stall it. Alright, we're through the worst of it here. Yeah, rode up that just good enough that I got up on the pegs and managed to actually ride the bike. And it's what I've said, the Scrambler's much more capable than I thought it was. It was mostly that I'd sat on the couch all winter. I didn't have the energy to stay up on the pegs, and I was just getting beat up, pushing the bars back and forth, and the rear end wanting to slide back downhill. So some of it's weather, some of it's tires, technique, but I mean, more than anything else was just I didn't have the stamina to keep after it like I needed to. All right, another breather, and then this left-hander that's murder in the mud. Same story, trying to make sure I got enough energy in that flywheel and try to ride this rut. I mean, I'm scrambling hard because the bike is just bumping all over the place. Didn't get stuck there that time around. Got some boys at the top of the hill. Yeah, that felt a lot better at that point. So once I got down another hill, I knew that it was relatively easy after that left-hander, that it was mostly field and then back to the start again. Wasn't sure what this guy was up to, and I didn't want to take him out coming through the curve here, but I wanted to hit this hill hard again. Scrambler stayed on the ground a little bit more that time, but it sounds amazing ripping through this section. Trying to maintain some speed down the hills, but just noodle arms. Still looking for a dry section through the cow pasture. Yeah, there's nothing better now, so just going wide and trying to stay vertical. Try to pivot around a little bit more this time and see how that works out, but it's more of the same. I don't see a better line than dropping off this ledge and trying to stay on the gas. Coming a little straighter this time. That's probably the best round of them all. Trying to pick up some speed to get these tires cleaned out to go through this mud section. Yeah, after having all those races through there, I mean, it's starting to get rutted up really good. Probably looking around to see if my buddy Bill's still sitting there, to see if I'm gonna just flub it the way I did the first time around. Trying to see if I can get up this hill a little less off camber. Much cleaner that time around. Yeah, those guys pull that thing out of the way for me. Now I'm gonna try to see if I can stay up on the pegs running through this Enduro section. Had to dab it in there, but much cleaner that time around. Yeah, the fans have been absolutely amazing. It was just, no matter how tired I was, it was just so awesome. Yeah, everybody was just, you know, clapping and going on. So this is like, I think 52 minutes into the race. I haven't seen Conrad in a while, and I am wasted. So I pull over to see if I'm going to see him come back around or not. And if he comes back around, I'm going to jump on the bike. But I'm really not interested in trying to survive another lap, because it was like half an hour a lap. So it's a 1 hour race. And at this stage, I wasn't entirely sure if the race was over yet or what. But I was like, I'm completely tapped. I'll go around again, but it's going to be an hour and a half total for the race. So we'll see if we can call it at this stage. Ultimately, I can't say enough about how impressed I was with the way the bike did. I mean, obviously, there's some more work that could probably be done to the suspension. But I think the biggest limitation was me. My fitness level was just not as good as I would like to have been at that stage, because it was, you know, the winter and a lot of stuff going on in the house and whatnot. But I'm looking forward to giving it another run. I was absolutely wasted after 2 laps. Was glad I didn't know if I would want to do it again, but sitting here watching the video and recap and everything, I'm looking forward to washing down the bike, checking everything out, and giving another run and hoping for dry weather when we get to round 2.